Well, good afternoon. Happy Friday, November 26th. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Mark Milam here with Highland Mortgage, your mortgage professional. I've come out of my tryptophan-induced coma to bring you this week's interest rate summary and market update. Really a crazy tale of 2 weeks. We came up to the close of business. Actually, the markets closed a little early on Wednesday in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. Of course, we were closed yesterday. But then we open up today to a completely different situation than how we finished out on Wednesday. Let's talk about where we were, and then we'll talk about where we are. So where we were was, inflation just is the headline that matters. Inflation causing all kinds of problems for mortgage interest rates. As inflation goes up, interest rates have to go up. That's just the way that it works. Inflation erodes the value of bonds over time. Mortgages are just long-term bonds. So these inflation concerns are persisting. We've got the supply chain issues. We know all about that. We know about the ships parked off the coast of California. We've got the trucking industry concerns. How do we bring all of these goods to market if we don't have enough truckers and enough trucking companies to bring them there? But we've also got some new indications of maybe corporate profit taking being part of the problem. Matter of fact, let me show you a couple of articles here. This is from Business Insider talking about corporations are using inflation as an excuse to raise prices, causing more inflation, right? And make fatter profits. It's making the problem worse. Large companies tend to use periods of rising inflation to boost their profit margin, and having fewer competitors. We all know how many people went out of business in 2020 in an industry makes it even easier for companies to raise prices. There's another opinion article talking about the real source of inflation. It's corporate power and greed. And then yet another opinion article here, corporate giants are raising prices even as they rake in record profits. So interesting how we're seeing inflation. Of course, there's some real concerns here with the supply chain issues, but maybe also some corporate induced reasons that we're seeing inflations. All of that is just whacking interest rates pretty hard and causing them to shoot up. We've seen about a quarter-point increase over the past 2 weeks until today. And then what happened today, or really the news that came out last night, was a new variant of the COVID virus, the COVID-19 virus, causing some concern on the continent of Africa, and it's actually escaped the continent of Africa into a couple of different regions. As a matter of fact, we're starting to see travel restrictions around this new variant that's been labeled Omicron by the World Health Organization. So travel restrictions now into at least 6 countries within the continent of Africa. Let me show you some headlines around that. So here's CNN, new COVID variant sparks global travel restrictions. Here on CNBC, we can see the stock market was down about 900 points earlier today, but the World Health Organization labels the newly identified COVID variant as Omicron. It's much more contagious than the Delta variant, which was much more contagious than the original COVID-19 virus. Very, very interesting story. What's that doing to mortgage-backed securities? So here are mortgage-backed securities, our familiar candlestick chart. Red days are bad days, interest rates are going up. Green days are good days, interest rates are coming down. And you can see the past 2 weeks not very kind to us until today. And this is a direct result of this new COVID variant becoming a source of concern for markets globally. Obviously, a source of concern for the travel industry, a source of concern for the service industry. And if the variant escapes the continent of Africa, which it appears to have done, it's just going to spread because of how contagious it is. Already we're hearing from Pfizer, we're hearing from Moderna that they're in development to see what kind of efficacy their vaccines have on this new strain of the variant. But for the world of mortgage interest rates, if you haven't taken advantage of low interest rate environment for a refinance, or if you're still out there looking for the perfect home to purchase with limited inventory, you've gotten a little bit of a reprieve in the interest rate rising environment. If I can be of any service to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Mark.Milam at highlandmtg.com, 404-395-1102. Thanks.